our own creations, material creations, if we can just take a lesson from this home, is that something beyond is operating that we have no hands-on experience. We're not going to have a hands-on experience. And yet God is not above and beyond your reach. He is within your reach, but He's within you. And at some point, you just have to spend time with Him and then approach in that direction. Right.
So basically you have to say go within, that's it, right?
Right. So the knowledge should not put your ego on the high side, and knowledge should not be a priority in life. Knowledge should be important to make a living, yes, but at the same time, that's not the final frontier. There is a lot more above and beyond all that we all can experience. We can
pass on the knowledge.
Knowledge can be passed on. Knowledge is always borrowed. Knowledge is never yours. I became a doctor because somebody told me how to do this. If otherwise, I would not know. So there is nothing yours. Knowledge is material. Knowledge is never yours. It's always given to you by somebody else. But knowledge of the self is another story. That's your own. Even Mahavir and Buddha cannot give you. Even Krishna and Ram cannot give you. What we see in the statues is only the wave pattern of the big ocean. But the ocean, which is formless, is beyond all this thing. And we cannot stop at the form level. Because at the form level, it's just material knowledge. That your father and mother says, bow down to this statue, so you do it, you do this, you do that. Rituals, all these things are just so-called knowledge of one kind or the other. If father says, bow down to Black Label, you bow down to Black Label. Fine, but it's still material knowledge. You just borrow from somebody. Your friend said that, this said that said that. It doesn't matter. That is like dabbling only on the surface of the ocean. We have to realize that when we are creating or building empires in the material level, that's like drawing figures on the surface of the water. What are we doing? What are we doing with this knowledge? Where are we going? Is that taking us anywhere? At the end of your life, what did we learn? Nothing. You just leave everything behind anywhere and go. And we came empty-handed, we're gonna go even more empty-handed. So we lost one more life. What's the point? So this is the time for us to realize the limitedness of this knowledge. So there was a story of a yogi we talked about. So he had gone to the market to pick up some meat, because his wife sent him. And then along with the meat, he brought a recipe book. So while he's coming home, a kite came and zapped the piece of meat and ran away. Instead of getting upset, he started laughing. So people around, he says, why are you laughing? He says, that kite is crazy. He says, why? Got the meat, the recipe book, I still have it. So he comes home and tells his wife, that I lost meat, but no problem, I still have the recipe book. The books stay in your hand and you die. What do you do? That's empty, that's nothing. Ego, that's all fake. They are like you drawing flowers of space. Space flowers have no value, right? The real depth is within. That's where we need to go. And if you really, even at the material level, if you start putting yourself in perspective of the size of the matter, size of this universe, and size of all these galaxies, it just makes you feel so tiny. Even if at the material expression of Paramatma, there is plenty of ways to reduce your ego. For example, sun is 1.3 million times bigger than the earth. If you put the whole solar plexus in the scale, is 2% of the sun. 98% is the sun itself. The rest, all the planets, everything, and the moons and everything put together is only 2%. And our sun is what? It's nothing. We have how many? 400 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy, which is 120,000 light years long. Each light year is where, it's amazing, right? It's like at the speed of light, 1 second it travels 186,000 miles. And for the light to go from one end of our galaxy to another galaxy will take 120,000 years. And that's only one galaxy. And we have billions and billions and billions of galaxies. So even at that level, it's easy for us to understand that we are nothing. What this ego for what?
So boys not gonna die. I've been making story.
Huh?
Boys not gonna die.
So, Edison, we talked about last time, was where Edison was visiting a small town where in the school kids had created small toys out of electrical motors and boats and cranes and things like that. And he was visiting and different things he was asking. And then he asked one of the kid, how are these toys working? He said, with electricity. He says, do you know what is electricity? Kid was at a loss. He says, I don't know. So he says, ask your teacher. So they asked the teacher. Teacher says, well, we know how electricity works, but what is electricity? We don't know. The principals came, all the teachers came, and Edison says, by the way, I am Edison. So everybody started saying, oh my God, you are the father of electricity. And no, sorry, we don't know what is electricity. So Edison says, I don't either. I just know that it exists. I know how to work with it. But I just don't know what electricity is. In such a great personality, when he accepts that he does not know, that means he has more to know. There is more possibility in the future where you can learn some more. So Vismay, bhav of Vismay, bhav of amazement, is where we stop our knowledge, so-called knowledge, and then we dabble into the unknown. So a gardener can plant a seed, a tiny seedling comes out, a plant comes out, becomes a tree. He can do all these things, but he still does not know
How is that?
how the whole thing is done, how the whole world operates in a beautiful, synchronized, unity. We don't know. That's fine too. We are here to enjoy and appreciate that synchronicity. Look at the beautiful moon and look at the beautiful sunrise and enjoy our life and appreciate it for every single moment what God has offered to us, right? So knowledge is knowledge, and knowledge of material things does not mean I might know your wife, I might know your children, I might know your bank account, I might need your social security. But do I know you? No. Do you know yourself? No. We never spend time within ourselves to know ourselves. What are we? We don't know. We talked about that statue of charioteer, right? In Delphi, Greece. There is a statue. You look up on internet. It's a beautiful statue, marble statue. And the expressions on the face of the statues is amazing. The chariot has been broken down, but the charioteer, the control that you need to run that chariot is on the face, is very vividly done. It's a beautiful statue. So when we meditate, we have to look at our body as a chariot. We are in charge of the charioteer. So our concentration should be on the charioteer, a formless entity that is controlling the form. Then only you start rising above the material existence that is around us. Instead of that, we have become one of the horses of the chariot. Chariot is dragging us instead of remaining as a charioteer in charge of the whole thing. I had a patient yesterday. She is so devastated. Apparently, her daughter works in a school where she was harassed by another woman. Something happened. I don't know the details. And that woman happens to be good friends with her son. So those two women were fighting, and her daughter expected that her brother cuts off the relationship with that woman because now he would not, because she has been nice to him. He says, why should I do that? Maybe problem is with you. I don't know. I don't want to lose it. But they are brother sisters, so she expects. So now parents are devastated, and they have a beautiful family. They have a very, very nice family, all living nearby each other and very nice. So they all been enjoying good family life and a lot of holidays together and things like that. And now they're totally devastated. He says, I don't know what to do. She's crying all the time. Husband is said, we lost everything and this and that. So now she's losing control on herself because of the two children they're fighting with each other, and now she has no control. She's crying all the time and she's looking for Xanax and all these things. And I explained to her a little bit about it. She was not in a position to accept everything, but at least she understood. I said, I quoted her the beautiful poem by Khalil Gibran. He was a Lebanese guy, a Christian, and he wrote a beautiful book called The Prophet. And in The Prophet, he describes a prophet who is living this world and giving advice to different segments of people. So people are following him. They're saying the sheep has arrived and it's time for me to move on. But before that, he likes to give advice to other people. So people are come in a various segments, how the lawyers should carry out their profession, how the doctors should behave, how the parents should behave, and things like that. So one of the poem was on the parents. And they say, what are the roles of parents? How? So I was telling her. So he describes that a role of parents should be like a bow. Like through the bow, the arrows are shot out. But once the arrow is shot out, the bow has no control on the arrows. The arrows, what speed they will travel, where they will fall, what will happen to the arrows are decided by the external environment. Once you throw out, all the external forces will determine where the arrow will fall.
Correct.
The only thing you have to be thankful is that God considered you worthy of shooting the arrows out of. So the firmness that a bow maintains, through which the arrow is shot out, just consider yourself lucky, but beyond that, you have no control. So then only you distance yourself from the whole event, and yet you will be still available for your children, whatever happens. But as somebody, their children are like 40, 45-year-old children, and they're fighting, what can you do?
Nothing you can.
Nothing you can do. They have their own energies, they have their own vasanas and vrittis, they're playing them out stupidly or intelligently, we don't know. But you should be in charge at least. You should not lose your own control and getting dragged with the event. And then whenever they are coming to you for help, you should be available to help, like that. So kind of it helped a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Next lecture I'll let you know. So there are a lot of basic questions of life we don't have answers for, and it's okay. It's perfectly okay.